Okay guys, so look in your packet, the one that says practice basic vector operations, vector and parametric equations, and we're going to do pieces and parts of this together. Right? You have a quiz tomorrow, so paying attention today will really pay off. So let's turn to problem 20. That's the one I want to talk about together with you. I just want to be sure that you can do what we did yesterday. Okay? So if you look at the problem to start off with, a cruise liner in the Caribbean spots a pack of sharks in the northwest of the ship. The sharks are traveling in a line, and it gives you the equation of the line. If the vector equation describes the ship motion as given in this equation, then you're going to find A, B, and C. Okay, let's start with A, the two parametric equations. Remember to find the parametric equations, it's the x equals. So x equals, and we started at 3, and we're going to jump 4 right every time, right? This is our starting point. So you're going to start at 3. And here's our vector, our velocity, and we're going to go 4 right. So 3 plus 4t. Now let's find y. Y is found, you're going to start at -1, and you're going to go up 2. So this here and this go together. So -1 plus 2t. So those are your parametric equations. Now the next step was to find the velocity and the speed. Okay, remember the velocity is given to you in the parametric equation, right? Or I'm sorry, in the vector equation. So here's the vector equation. The velocity is just this point right here. So the velocity is 4, 2. In other words, the ship is traveling, right 4 up 2, right 4 up 2. And if you want to know the speed, okay, to find the speed, remember that's like finding the magnitude. So we're going to find the magnitude of this value, 4, 2. Right? In other words, at what rate they're traveling. And to find the magnitude, we took the square of both. So the square of 4 is 16, the square of 2 is 4. So that's the square of 20. But we're not going to leave it like that, right? What perfect square divides evenly into 20? 4. So this is the same thing as the square root of 4 times 5. Well, I can take the square root of 5. So then the speed is actually 2 root 5, because the square root of 4 is 2. So there's the speed, and there's the velocity. The last thing it's going to ask you is part C. When and where the ship will come in contact with the sharks. Okay, when is time and where is the point? When and where. Okay, the when is found in terms of time. The only thing I have in terms of time were in A. X in terms of time is 3 plus 4, and Y is -1 plus 2. So what you're going to do is you take the line that the shark was described with right here, and you're going to talk about that in terms of time. Now the mistake that everybody's going to make all the time is with those negatives. They throw you off. Please, please, please be careful with the negatives. This says the original equation is -x plus 4y equals 12. So this is a -x, right? If you have a -x, it wants the opposite of all of x, not just part of it. Okay, I want all of x. So x here is 3 plus 4t, so I'm actually going to write -3 minus 4t. Then I want plus 4 times y, so plus 4, and y has a value of -1 plus 2t. You'll notice now the only variable that exists is time, because that's what I'm looking for. I wrote x in terms of time and y in terms of time, and it equals 12. So let's distribute and solve. So -3 minus 4t, I'm going to distribute the 4. So -4 plus 8t equals 12. You distribute the 4. Then you're going to combine the t. So a -4 and an 8 make 4t. A -3 and a -4 make -7. Now if I move the 7 over, I ran out of room, so I'm going to bring it up here. If I move the 7 over, you get 4t equals 19. So time is 19 over 4. It didn't happen yesterday, guys, but you're allowed to have a fraction as time. Think about a swimmer, right? Every swimmer doesn't finish a race in exactly 3 seconds, right? Lots of swim competitions, there's a lot of difference between 3 seconds and 4 seconds, right? Okay, same here. I don't know if these are seconds or hours or days or whatever time is, it doesn't say, but it doesn't all have to be perfect. It can be a decimal or a fraction. So time in this case is 19/4. That's half our answer. We answered when. Okay, I noticed when I graded my last class paper, they got when really well, but people left the where blank. How do I find where? What do I do with my time?
Plug it in.
Yeah, plug it back into the A. If I want to know, okay, so x equals, to find the x value of where I'm at, I'm going to take 3 plus 4 times 19/4. To find the y value of where I'm at, I'm going to take -1 plus 2 times 19/4. If you'll take both of those and enter them in the calculator, and do me a favor, go ahead and turn them back into a fraction, hit math, enter, enter, keep them as a fraction. So I already know that the answer is time equals 19/4. Put your at symbol, and let's find the ordered pair. So if you type 3 plus 4 times 19/4 in your calculator, you get 22. So that's the x value of where you're at. To find the y value, -1, right, plus 2 times 19/4, you're going to get a decimal. So hit math, enter, enter. And that will give you 17/2. Okay? All right, now then, I want you to do 21, and then we're going to check it. So I'll give you some time. Do number 21. You want to get good at these because they're on your quiz tomorrow. So do 21. Okay, so when you get to 21, A and B are pretty straightforward, right? Let me get it to fit on here. Okay, so A and B are pretty straightforward. A is 2 plus 16, and then Y is -1 plus T. The velocity is 6(1), and the speed is √37. You got that part, right? What's strange about C is that the line that they gave me is just a Y line. So just don't worry about the X. It's not a big deal. X is just not there. So to find time, okay, all you're going to do is use the Y. So -1 plus your time equals 14. I'm just going to use my line they gave me. Y equals 14. That's fine. So time then is 15 units. So that's my when. How do you find where? What are you going to do to find where now? Plug time back into A, correct? So take that and say, all right, to find my x value, I want 2 plus 6 times 15. And to find my y value, I want -1 plus 15. You can use your calculator. 2 plus 6 times 15 is 92. And the -1 plus 15 is 14. So your answer then is T equals 15 at 92:14. I'm gonna look for your answers in that form. I've done it that form all day yesterday and all day today. So when I'm asking for when and where, that's what it should look like. Okay, now go back to problem 19 for me. I'm gonna give you a few minutes to work on problem 19. If you finish 19 early, you can go back to the front page. We're going to do all of the front page. Work on problem 19. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at 19 now. And for 19, the velocity is -4(1), and the speed is 17. And I think y'all are having the most trouble with the when and where, so let me do that problem for you. So the when, here's the equation it gave us. So it gave us also the parametric equations. We didn't have to find those. So I'm going to take 2 times 6 minus 4t, and then minus y. Now you have to be careful here. The minus will throw you off. When you have a minus y, you have the minus of the 3, but the opposite of the 3 and the opposite of the t. So I want minus 3 minus t. And we're going to set it equal to 7. Watch out for those subtraction signs. So when you distribute, you're going to get 12 minus 8t minus 3 minus t equals 7. Combine your t's, so negative 9t minus plus 9 equals 7. Right, when you solve, you subtract 9, so you get, I ran out of space, so negative 9t equals negative 2. So t equals 2 ninths. It's going to turn positive. Those are both negative. A negative divided by negative is positive. So your time is 2 ninths. So now remember, what do we do to find where? Where is found by taking your time and plugging it into these two parametric equations. So the x value is 6 minus 4 times 2 ninths. And the y value is 3 plus 2 ninths. You're going to use your calculator and put it in fraction form. Okay, so use your calculator and put it in fraction form. Which I got 46 over 9 and 29 over 9. So your answer is time equals 2 ninths at, open parentheses, 46 ninths, comma 29 ninths. Okay, we're gonna do one last problem together like this, and then we're finished with these. Okay, we're not gonna do any more of these word problems. But your quiz tomorrow is mainly the word problems. So look at problem 18. If you finish 18 early, go to the front. 18 is the last word problem we're gonna do together. So 18. Okay, so for 18 then, x just gives me 4 plus 6t, and y is negative 3 minus 5t. So those are the parametric equations. Then it asks you for the velocity and the speed. Okay, the velocity then would be 6, negative 5, and the speed would be the square root of 36 plus 25, which is the square root of 61. Okay, all right, now, if you struggle with finding the when and where, all right, if you want, okay, then you can do a few more of those. But otherwise, I recommend you turning to this side and be sure you understand this page. Okay, I want to start you off. I'm going to do 1 and 7 with you. Okay, this is an addition. So it means you're going to take negative 2, negative 5, and add vector 3, 7. So negative 2 plus 3 is 1, and negative 5 plus 7 is 2. So the answer is 1, 2. Now when you get to 7, 7 asks for the magnitude of u plus v. Well, you can't find the magnitude of u plus v till you find the vector of u plus v. We already found it. We found it in number 1. So what I really am asking here is, what is this value? And you're good at that by now. You just take the square root of 1 squared plus the square root of 2 squared. So the answer is root 5. Okay? Now, another one that I want to do with you is look at problem 3. Be careful of the subtraction. Okay? Be sure you're subtracting. Right? And then I want to refresh your memory how to do the problems at the bottom. Right? Look at number 9. On number 9, I give you a bunch of points, A through D. And number 9 asks you, what is the vector name A to B? In other words, how am I going to get from A to B? Well, to do that, remember the little shortcut I taught you before is to go backwards when you subtract. Okay? So if you look at this, you find the x value first, and you do b minus a. So I'm going to do negative 5 minus 3. So negative 5 minus 3 would be negative 8. Okay? Then I'm going to find the y value, which would be 1 minus negative 8. 1 minus negative 8, be careful of your signs, is 9. So to get from A to B, you would go left 8 and up 9. Okay? Now, when you get to 15, on problem 15, it asks for AB, vector AB, the magnitude of it. So you already know that from problem 9. So you're just going to find the magnitude of 8, 9. Okay, in a few minutes, I'll let you work on this. In a few minutes, I'll put the answers up so you can check it. So just work for now. Okay, guys, there's a couple more I want to address to be sure that you're understanding correctly. Okay, and for example, 6. 6 means you're going to take 2u. So you're going to do -4, -10, and subtract, and you're going to do 4 times v, which would be 12 and 28. So you're multiplying 2 times whatever u is and 4 times whatever v is. When you get to this point, then you subtract -4 minus 12, okay, which gives you -16, and -10 minus 28, which is -38. Now, the other one I want to talk about is number 11. Okay, so look down at 11. 11 is asking for 3AB. Guys, don't overwork. Okay, you already did number 9. 9 is -8, 9. So if I want 3, then I want 3 of that. So you should multiply the whole thing by 3. So -24, 27. Okay? All right, go work a few more minutes and then I'll go over a couple more. Okay, I'm gonna put the answers up to the first 8 so you can check and see how you did on the first 8. Okay, so here's 1 through 8. Now, you'll notice, to me, the strangest part is on 7, I asked you for the magnitude and you got √5. And on 8, you got the square root of 169, which simplifies to 13. Your magnitude or your speed or whatever does not have to be a radical if it simplifies. So on number 8, the answer was just 13. That's fine. Okay? Now then, let's go down to this part, which seemed to have you'll had a little more trouble with, but here was 9 through 17. If there's a problem you want me to work, I can work it for you. This is a little hard to read. Do you have any questions about how I got an answer on 9 through 17? Okay, somebody's asking about 12. If you look at 12, okay, if I was going to do that problem, then I want twice, first I'm going to see if that's anywhere, and it's not. So I want twice AB. Well, AB is here, which gives me -16, 18, minus BA. And remember from yesterday, if you go backwards, it just means instead of going left 8 and up 9, we're going to go right 8 and down 9. So this becomes 8, -9. Or if you want to do the math, you go backwards and subtract this way. It's the A minus B. So -16 minus 8 is -24, and 18 minus -9 is 27. That's where that comes from. Okay, so here's the rest of them. Do you have any questions on 9 through 17? Okay, so you have a quiz tomorrow, and it's mainly over the word problems. So if you're struggling with finding when and where, you might practice that a little tonight.